My name is Deidre Wilson Allen, and I'm a registered nurse at Tampa General Hospital. Today, I would like to discuss with you how important nutrition is for us. Here we go. Good nutrition is an important part of leading a healthy lifestyle. Combined with physical activity, your diet can help you to reach and maintain a healthy weight, reduce your risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and cancer, and promote your overall health. That's our overall goal. Unhealthy eating habits have contributed to the obesity epidemic in the United States. Dietary habits established in childhood often carry over into adulthood. So teaching our children how to eat healthy at a very young age will help them stay healthy throughout their life. In keeping healthy, you need to eat a wide range of different foods to keep your body working well. Foods such as fruit and vegetables are full of vitamins. Water makes up more than half of your body, and you need a constant supply of this important liquid. To be exact, you need to drink half of your body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you need to drink at least 50 ounces of water every day. Going over would be even better, but at least half your body weight. That's very important. It's important that you get your sleep. It's a different amount of hours for different people, for different age groups, but at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep would be awesome. You want to eat regularly. Sorry about that. Eat your food regular, and control your portion sizes. You should, if you can, get a controlled portion plate that controls your portion of your protein, your vegetables, your fruit. And it's called portion plate, which is a good thing to have. But we know hand size for your meat, you can measure your vegetables in your hand. So you want to stay around that portion control. It's very important. By taking steps to eat healthy, you'll be on the right way to getting the nutrients your body needs to stay healthy, active, and strong. As with physical activity, making some small changes in your diet can go a long way, and it's easier than you think. We just have to start. Now that you know the benefits, let us start eating healthy. Just by adding any type of movement into your daily routine can increase your level of overall health and well-being. You want to make sure you're including exercise in that, at least 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. You don't need to spend an hour, 2 hours at the gym, 30 days, at least 3 times a week. And whatever exercise you do decide to do, you want to make sure you increase your heart rate. Keep up your metabolism, that way you can burn off the calories. It's important to monitor your heart rate, drink your water, eat a little something before you work out, and definitely eat a full meal afterwards. You want to make sure you got your good protein and, of course, your water. And briefly, nutrition goes along with hypertension, so I'm going to mention a couple of things about hypertension. High blood pressure, diet, and weight is beyond the basics, is what they say. Hypertension is a common condition that can lead to serious complications if not treated. They include stroke, heart failure, heart attack, and kidney damage, amongst others. There are lifestyle changes that we can make, and again, we talked about nutrition already, about eating more fruits and vegetables. You want to eat more fiber, more fish, chicken, and turkey are your best. You want to decrease your caffeine intake. Again, regular exercise, and maintaining a healthy weight. It's always important to discuss with your doctors your goal plans for your lifestyle and maintaining a healthy outcome. If you smoke, you want to stop smoking. You want to de-stress. Meditation is very important. Again, rest to help lower your blood pressure. Again, you want to move more. You can see nutrition and hypertension go hand in hand. If you got a healthy diet, your nutrition as well, you can maintain and control your blood pressure. They do go hand in hand. You want to cut out your salt. Sodium is literally in almost everything that we eat. So watch your sodium intake. Learn to read your labels. It's important to read your labels. If there's a word on your labels that you can't pronounce, then it's probably not good for you. Again, just monitor your weight. You want to know your BMI. That's your body mass index. It's your weight and minus your height. It'll give you a percentage. And it could tell you if your ideal body mass, if you're obese, very obese, or you're in a healthy state. So it's important to know your BMI. It's important to know all of your numbers. Know your blood pressure ranges. So when you do go to your doctor, you have those numbers in front of you and you guys can discuss a plan. And now that we know the benefits of nutrition and controlling our high blood pressure or blood pressure period, let us start eating healthy. Just adding any type of movement in your daily routine, any type that can increase your level of overall health and well-being. It doesn't take much, it's just we gotta start. So at the end of our conference, at some point, you'll be able to meet with our vendors and they will be able to share some of the services that they can offer for you related to nutrition, related to hypertension, related to cancer, mental health. So we'll have several different vendors that you can speak with and ask questions at the end of this session. Again, I want to thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of information about nutrition, and we're looking forward to you. If you have any questions, please ask our vendors. Thank you. Bye.
So, hello everyone. I am Dr. Chandra Davis. I am a clinical psychologist and I am the founder of Davis Synergetic Development. I provide mental health services to individuals, families, and companies on a variety of issues and things that they need. Very specifically, I also provide therapy, consultations, also, and soon I will provide psychological evaluations. And I have the pleasure and honor of coming to you guys to just give a little brief talking about how to maintain mental health during COVID-19, because we've kind of been in this for many months already, and it's only continuing. Unfortunately, we don't have a set end date, and I'm going to tell you that I am finding a lot of people and families who are definitely starting to show some struggles with mental health. So I wanted to be able to come and to talk to you guys a little bit about things that you can do right now to be able to help and assist you. So one of the things I want to first start is what you or loved ones may experience. So people may experience a lot of different things. You may be experiencing some anxiety. Your kids may be experiencing some anxiety and worry, whether it's on will I catch the virus, or having to stay in the house, or right now even knowing if they're going to be able to start school in the fall. And so that is something that kind of is common that you may see. Also, you may see that some people start to show some resentment. Part of that resentment can be towards the person who caused the exposure. So for some people who get exposed and who may develop COVID-19, you may experience some resentment in that regard. Also, you may just experience some resentment, even if you don't, but you expose, because usually if we're exposed, we have to go ahead and start quarantining even more while we're waiting to get the test. And if anybody knows the test and have gotten the test for the quarantine virus, no, it's not a pleasant experience in and of itself. And so sometimes people can have some resentment that sets up. Loss, there's a lot of people who are experiencing loss for the loved ones, actual loss of a death of a loved one, and trying to develop the grief. And right now, because of the quarantine, a lot of people are not even able to grieve in the same manner that they would have been, because they're not able to attend funerals. They're having to do it virtually. So it's a very different way of saying goodbye to our loved ones right now. But there are other losses that are happening for a lot of people, such as a loss of job, a loss of being able to go workplaces, lost a school. We have kids who are transitioning and adults who are transitioning out of different schools. And usually we have graduations, we have proms, we have all of these celebrations. And so not being able to experience those things can also set up and present a sense of loss. There's frustration happening in so many ways, frustration for the quarantine and frustration for other things that's going on kind of in the world. Have been so focused on the quarantine that sometimes we forget that there's other things going on in the world, that there are other illnesses that people are experiencing and going through also within this time, and even like the racial disparities that are happening within the news today. And so there's so much frustration that can happen and build up for a lot of people. There's also loneliness because there are some people and family members who may have to be very isolated from everyone else for whatever various reasons. We're seeing, tapes of people having to communicate with their loved ones through windows or, from the patio where they're on the street. All of these different things can also set up for that loneliness to happen. Anger, there are a lot of people that are angry for a lot of different things. I would say potentially for some of people who are like finally like, I just want to go out. I want to get out of here. Some of that is the anger that they have that they're having to go through this. But then there's anger because people are like, should wear a mask, should not wear a mask. And so there's so much of that that's also happening, even when you're out in the stores right now. Boredom. I believe it or not, I have kids who are literally saying they're tired of playing video games. They are tired of being on the internet because they're getting bored because too much. Whereas before they'd be like, oh, I love it. I can do it all day. They're really realizing that it's not fun to do it all day, long and to continually do it. So boredom is setting in. So finding, very just different ways and interactive ways that your family and your kids that you guys can interact is such a huge piece. And you got to get creative, with a lot of different things during this time. And then, of course, depression can happen for people also. And it comes in many forms. For children, adolescents, depression usually comes out as irritability and the anger piece. Of course, for adults, it usually can come out a lot of times as, lack of interest in doing things, kind of stay in the bed. But we also have people that can do what we call become functional depression, where you're able to function in certain things, such as your job, because you know that you need to provide, but it doesn't give you the same pleasure. Or outside of that one thing, you're kind of like you can't do anything. And so that is something that also we're seeing. And there are many other reactions that can be possible because we're all different and we all handle stress and crises differently. And so it's not saying that this is an exhaustive list, but usually I would say if you're finding that you or your loved one is kind of acting different than they normally would, it may be due to what's happening and the stress that we're under with the quarantine and with COVID-19. If you don't deal with these feelings, they can lead to some things. We're seeing a lot of increase in substance use, eating disorders, and addictive behaviors right now. A lot of that is happening because people are kind of turning to these things as a way of coping. Personally, I definitely am part of the club of the COVID 1930 pounds because initially I didn't even realize it. I was doing emotional eating and I'm a provider. And until I caught myself and realized, like, wait a minute, you eating way too much. And it's just kind of out of what's happening. And so you want to look at that and watch, those things and those behaviors that you may be doing. We also have seen an increase within the mental health field in abuse causing domestic violence. Part of that is directly related to some substance use issues where there's increase in that going on. The other thing is a lot of times it's the stress that's under. It's not people truly maliciously abusing, family members. It's usually that I'm so stressed out, I go and then something happens and I kind of lose it is what we're seeing a lot of. And so we want to be able to get those under control. We're seeing family issues. I'm hearing a lot of the siblings who are bickering and fighting more than usual within it. Marital problems because husband and wives are like, I need some separation. He usually works outside of the house? Why is he still here? And so those things are happening. I'm working with a lot of families on looking at like, hey, you're a couple, you still need to figure out how to have and take care of your marriage and have date night. You need to still figure out how to have, one-on-one time with the kids. All of these things that we're working through that we have to be able to look at how do we maintain that. So, what are some other things that we can do to manage? The first thing I talk about is stop focusing on what you can't do and focus on what you can do. And this is called reframing. When we stay in the mindset of, hey, I can't do this, I can't do that, why can't I do it? Like it just keeps us in the sense of frustration. And so I know everybody keeps saying, I want to can't wait to get back to normal. I want to be let that even leave your vocabulary. I talk about like create a new normal for you and your family. Create what it's going to be like. Again, this is going to be with us for a while. Most of the healthcare providers that I've talked to, they're stating that it's going to take a year to a year and a half for this really to truly pass all the way through. So we're going to be stuck in this in some kind of way. Develop a new normal for you and your family. Develop a routine that's going to work and keep to it and whatever that routine looks like. And it doesn't have to be a hardcore like set routine because I know now we're finally into the summer, so we're not necessarily having to think about virtual schooling right now with kids. But still, what is the routine going to be for you guys? Developing, set places in the home where work is to happen and it doesn't happen in other places. Setting up those boundaries, making sure that you still stay with I work from 9 to 5, not 8 to 6, with that travel time or finding yourself with that. Set an alarm if you even need to be able to help remind yourself. Also, limit the amount of coronavirus you expose to yourself and your family. You can set up a designated time to get caught up on the information. Constantly inundating that information, and especially for those who suffer with anxiety and worry, it's only going to increase that. But if you can set aside being able to look at how much time you want to, me, I've kind of stopped listening to the news. I'll take a specific time of day where I'll go read to find out what do I need to catch up on and what do I need to maybe research more versus all the time or hearing it. I've even had to set boundaries with my family. Like, when you find out something, please don't call me with it. I'm gonna hear about it anyway. A lot of times from clients. I'm good. Being able to set those boundaries is really helpful for you. Also, staying connected with others. I know previously we're like, oh, technology is so bad, but technology has really allowed us to very much stay connected to each other. No, it's not the same as in-person, face-to-face services, not services, excuse me, of engagement, but it is better than nothing. And than what we had before. And so it's okay. Make it fun. Playing games even, where you have Zoom meetings or really great apps out there. House Party is a great app where you can play games with others and see them. So it's not just you looking at them. Cooking activities. You can do cooking activities with other people in other households. They have ingredients, you have ingredients, you still get to make things together. So there's definitely ways that you can get creative and stay connected with others using technology. And last and not least for me, it's always find ways to laugh. Laughter is one of the best coping skills that we have, and it's totally free. So find ways that you can enjoy life right now, whether it's watching funny movies, whether it's doing something silly, whether it's just dancing, turning on music and dancing around your house. Do something that is going to produce laughter. And it is definitely one of the best medications, I call it, that you can have and can do. And also just incorporating, I didn't actually add it on here, but our spirituality, life, and prayer is such a huge piece also. So making sure to incorporate those things, again, attending church online may not be, it's definitely not our first thing to do, but hey, guess what? We still get to stay connected and we still get to hear a good word with that. So these are just a few things that I wanted to, in the length of time I had, just to be able to offer you some assistance with being able to look at different ways that you can manage during this time. But here's the deal. If you're finding it really hard and difficult to be able to manage you, your kids, your family members, hey, please go and get help. Contact me. If I can help you, I will definitely locate and find providers in the area who can service you. Many of us providers are doing telehealth services. The insurance companies have even okayed for telehealth services to be provided because they know how important it is. I keep hearing people go, we'll wait till it's over, wait till it, please don't wait till it's over, because we want to help you now while it's not as big of an issue, to be able to help you cope. Please help the mental health, the mental health community. We're here for you. We have been essential workers, so we have not stopped working at any time. And in most places, you're able to get into services quicker than you were before. Here is my contact information. You can feel free to reach out to me. I'm also on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Davis Synergetic. You can also go to my website, and I will definitely assist you in locating services that can be of assistance to you. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully next year I'll be able to be there in person. Have a great one.
Hello, No Greater Love. This is Dr. Shanae Davis with Your Best You Personalized Primary and Diabetes Specialty Care. For the, I think, third or fourth year, Your Best You has been invited to be a part of this wonderful program, and we sincerely appreciate the invitation again. We have some of your members that come see us, or at least call us for a little bit of insight into their health and chronic disease, and in a few cases, even this COVID nightmare that we're dealing with. But Pastor Mouton asked me to speak to you about diabetes briefly, as we do almost every year, and also give you an opportunity to touch bases with our office should you have more questions. So again, I'm Dr. Shanae Davis, and I'm with Your Best You Personalized Primary and Diabetes Specialty Care. We're a full-service primary care practice, but we do focus on diabetes and advanced diabetes treatment strategies because it's an epidemic. The new statistics that came out just this year tell us that now more than 34 million Americans are affected by diabetes. A separate 88 million has pre-diabetes. So you wonder, why does this number continue to increase? It's because that 88 million is not a part of the 34 million. So that's the pipeline for these numbers to keep going up. What's good, though, is overall, from a ratio standpoint, Americans know a little bit better. Our people, Black people, minority people, we know better. We understand our risk factors a little more, and we are seeing fewer from a perspective standpoint or a ratio standpoint. We're seeing fewer cases, but overall, it's still minorities that smoke and that are overweight that are seeing the greatest incidence. That means new cases, the greatest incidence of diabetes, new diabetes cases. So as I indicated, most have type 2 diabetes, and the type of diabetes that you have has everything to do with how it comes about and not how it's treated. For the most part, there are 3 kinds of diabetes: type 1, type 2, and then gestational, which means diabetes when you're pregnant. But you can have type 2 diabetes but need insulin, type 1 diabetes and not need insulin yet, and then diabetes in pregnancy that goes away after you have the baby. So the kind of diabetes you have has everything to do with about how it comes. So let's talk about that. With most people having type 2 diabetes, how does it come about? A lot of it is risk factors, things that we can't control, like our family history. If we had diabetes while pregnant, those risk factors mean that you may incur diabetes at some point in your life down the road. If you have diabetes in pregnancy, your chances of going on to develop diabetes outright is about 50%. Again, the family history and diabetes and pregnancy aren't really risk factors that you can control, nor is having a child that's more than 9 pounds, or your age, or your ethnicity. All of those things put you at greater risk, but what about the things that you can? These are risk factors that we can control that I'm about to list. First, if you're a woman and you have a waistline around the belly button or navel that's bigger than 35 inches, that's a risk factor for developing diabetes. If you're a man and your waistline around the belly button is more than 40 inches, that's a risk factor for developing diabetes. Others that are modifiable are your triglyceride levels. That's a part of your cholesterol panel. It usually reads either TG or it's the longest word. Sometimes as I speak to patients, I say the good, the bad, and the ugly. The ugly is the triglycerides. That number should be under 150. When it's higher than 150, that's a risk factor. The HDL, the H is the good cholesterol level. So good, bad, and ugly in total. I'm talking about the ugly, which is the triglyceride, and the HDL, which is the good. If you have 2 less of the good amount of cholesterol, then it's also a risk factor. In men, the HDL reading should be higher than 40. You always want a lot of good. And in women, the HDL reading should be higher than 50. When they're lower than those levels, then that can be considered a risk factor for diabetes development. High blood pressure, polycystic ovarian syndrome, irregular periods, women that have like little hairs on their face at an early age, all of those are symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is an insulin-resistant state. Placing you at risk for type 2, so that's a risk factor. And last, if you've been told to have prediabetes or borderline diabetes, that's also a risk factor for type 2 diabetes development. So diabetes has no cure. Diabetes can be controlled with diet, but not in every case. Diabetes can be controlled with pills, but sometimes we do need insulin. Insulin is not a death sentence. It's not from the devil. Diabetes is actually an insulin deficiency problem and not a sugar problem like most people think that it is. So in helping to preserve your body's ability to make its own insulin, to reduce the resistance, the fat around the waist, controlling the blood pressure, eating a diet that's rich in produce, keeping your weight together, remaining active, understanding your family history, and also being checked, particularly if you're over age 45, because that was one of those risk factors that you can't modify. But those are ways to determine your status with diabetes. This is about diabetes, what I've shared with you today. It can be controlled. There is no cure. And I'd love to talk to you more about where you are on that continuum, particularly if you have diabetes in your family or you've been told that you have prediabetes before. I'd love to talk to you more about those things, but just know that as an African-American person or someone of African descent, you are at risk and we should be screened. Finally, where can that screening take place? You can have an informal screening by going to diabetes.org. That's www.diabetes.org. That is the official site of the American Diabetes Association, and there's a very informal test there called Know Your Risk. This is a screening for type 2 diabetes so that you'll have exactly what you should take to your healthcare provider for a formal test. If you're curious about your risk for diabetes, that's a great starting place. If you have a relationship with your healthcare provider, make sure that you've been screened. Ask the question, hey, have you screened me for diabetes? If you have diabetes, hey, how am I doing with things? What's my A1C? That's that diabetic report card type of reading that lets us know as healthcare providers how controlled you are and what's your risk for developing complications. But know your risk, know your status, and you'll do much better with knowledge on how to prevent diabetes from coming about if you don't have a diagnosis, and control diabetes if you do have the diagnosis. I'm happy to take new patients at Your Best You Personalized Primary and Diabetes Specialty Care. Our number is 813-936-2609. Or if you are online and are internet savvy, you can reach us at www.bestyouclinic.com or ybyyclinic.com. Both of those work, and YBY like yourbestyouklinic.com. I'm Dr. Shanae Davis, and I appreciate your time, and great luck on an amazing conference.
Thank you for taking the time out to find out a little bit about me and what it is that I do. And my name to begin with is Jerry Ann Norton. I am a proud member of the Sisters Network of Tampa Bay. We are a group of African-American women who are breast cancer survivors. And as I speak with you today, I am privileged to say, and honored and blessed to say, that I am a 14-year breast cancer survivor. I do not take that lightly, but my mission is, along with my sisters, is to keep promoting awareness that breast cancer is not a death sentence. So what you need to do is just be proactive in getting those monthly or those yearly mammograms. And I want to make a point right here to say men are not exempt. Men are victims of breast cancer as well. So with that said, wives, girlfriends with boyfriends, significant others, please implore upon them to get their own selves checked. It is okay, as we say, to touch yourself. I was privileged to find my own lump. And that is because I was so active and so vigilant about doing that. And had I not done that, I do believe I would have perished. However, God saw differently, and I'm so glad I listened to him, and it always pays to be obedient. Now, there are a lot of people, when they hear that word, it is very frightening. You go into shock, and that's understandably so. Even through COVID-19, cancer does not stop. So you still have to do what you need to do to stay ahead of the game. Because we are limited, we are not able to go out to the different churches, which is part of our mission. That's how we get the word out. It's one of the ways we get the word out. So when we do that, we're just a group of ladies that is so sincere about, and we're so passionate. It's important. You can't sweep it under the rug. Yes, the journey, I'll tell anybody, is not an easy one. There is no cure for cancer, even till this day, but you can survive it. If you have to buddy up with a sister, buddy up with a brother, show some love, and take them anyway. Well, you can't take them now. Maybe in some cases you can, but you want to be an encouragement to at least pick up the phone, go have an exam, talk to your doctor. And people with the African American community, it is just something about us. Everything that touches us, it manifests very, very prominently. So it's got to be, we're good people. We got good genes. We got good blood, but we matter. And because we are very potent, as I like to think of it, we're very potent. So that's why we are responsible for taking care of ourselves. We're responsible for getting the word out. We're responsible for showing love to another sister or brother. Now, I get it that people want to do this in silence. I'm here to tell you, you don't want to do that in silence. I, myself, when I found out, I was calling upon every prayer warrior I knew. I did not keep it a secret because I didn't want to go through that alone. That helps. A positive attitude helps. A positive mindset, if you will, helps. And you just have to hang on and trust God, because He will deliver you. It's all a matter of how strong your faith is. Now, granted, we serve a God that is bigger than cancer. I preach it every chance I get. Pink is our color of choice. Pink is powerful. I don't have on any pink today. But when you see the pink ribbons, when you see pink, just know that it is a powerful pink. It is a message that the Sisters Network of Tampa Bay is getting out. Now, in our mission, one of the things we do is we will provide or pay for mammograms for women in the community who are underinsured or who has no insurance at all. There are a lot of women and men that we want to reach out to. You just need to give us a call. Check us out on sistersnetwork.org. We're on the website. You'll see us in the media. Our president is Melissa Vasquez, who is very, very vigilant in helping to get the word out and connecting us to resources that will help us or help others. But by all means, I'll leave you my phone number. You can reach me at 813-210-2266. You can reach out to me. I'll be happy to pray with you, talk with you, answer any questions that I can answer for you. If I do not know the answers, I will certainly find out and direct you to where I believe you will find your answer. One other thing I want to say is, for those of you that may be newly diagnosed, it is important that you have a good relationship with your medical team. That matters. It helped me along the way. I also found that I had to call up and, hey, make sure they don't drop the ball, because they get busy and they can, especially now with the COVID-19 situation. So you want to be proactive, very proactive. I do hope and pray that when we are able to go back to visiting our local churches in person, we'll be happy to do that, because our mission is to stop the silence by any means and by all means. Now, right now, we're probably going to initiate doing some virtual sessions. And again, I invite you to contact me at 813-210-2266. If you wish to become a member, you do not have to have breast cancer or be a survivor to become a member of Sisters Network. You can be a volunteer, and you can go online at sistersnetwork.org and complete an application. The yearly fee is $25. So we do have a few volunteers that have been with us and helps us out at our walks when we were having them. We will be resuming those. We also have other events such as annual tea parties. And again, because of COVID-19, we had to put those things on hold. But nonetheless, we are still out here working and promoting awareness. You can survive breast cancer. Just be faithful about your mammograms and just do whatever it is that you need to do, because we will beat this. So many of us, so many other sisters like me have lost their battles. But I say the war still goes on. We are here to win the war, and we will win the war. Cancer has to go. It has to go. But it has to be an awareness and a mindset that we implore. We have to keep going, and that's what we do. I have scars from my surgeries, several surgeries that I had, and I call those my warrior battle scars, because it was a battle in which I won. I survived. You can survive. I want to thank you again for taking the time out to hear about myself, Jerry Ann Norton, and a member of Sisters Network of Tampa Bay. We are a part of a national organization, and there are other affiliate organizations throughout the nation. So not just here in Florida, because cancer travels and it's everywhere. So to be a part of such a group of survivors is amazing, absolutely amazing. So with that, again, I just want to say our president of Sisters Network Tampa Bay is none other than Melissa Vasquez. Go to our website, sistersnetwork.org. Learn more about us. There are pictures up on our site, and you can see some of the activities and some of the things that we've gone through. So, and then again, if you have questions, by all means, reach out to us. We love hearing from folks. If you know somebody that may be able to use our services, please, by all means, tell them, refer them to us. We will help anyone we can to stop this hideous disease, because that's just what it is. It's a hideous disease that needs to go away. So with that said, I want to bid you a good day and thank No Greater Love Baptist Church for inviting me to be a part of this awesome platform today. And I look forward to when we can come back to visit the church and churches in the community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Blaylock with Hillsborough County Healthcare Services. I wanted to cover what the services that Hillsborough County Healthcare offers for Hillsborough County residents. The Hillsborough County Healthcare Plan is a comprehensive managed care program for Hillsborough County residents with limited income and assets who do not qualify for other healthcare coverage, including Medicare and Medicaid. It covers doctor visits, hospital stays, routine vision care, and prescriptions. We are the payer of last resort. Under the Hillsborough County Healthcare, we have different units. The Hillsborough County Certification Unit is the unit that certifies for the medical program that covers the prescriptions, and medical costs, and other services. Then we have the Healthy Living Program that also works in conjunction with the healthcare program. Healthy Living provides workshops for diabetes, smoke cessation. They do weight management, and it's a free site for any Hillsborough County resident. All you have to do is go into the 3 sites that we have, which is at Lee Davis Neighborhood Service Center, South Shore Regional Community Center, and the Plant City Community Resource Center. We also have a unit called the HICRA unit. Basically, what that unit does is process applications for any Hillsborough County resident that gets hospitalized at any Florida County hospital and does not have health insurance. Their application is processed so that the county would be able to assist with that hospitalization. We also have the Ryan White program. The Ryan White program is a federal grant program that has medical care, medications and case management, dental services, mental health services, and substance abuse services for anybody that's eligible and it's positive for HIV. And then we also have a trauma agency. The trauma agencies coordinate, they plan, and they evaluate the trauma care system in the Hillsborough County area. The goal is to reduce death and disability from trauma. Under the Hillsborough County Healthcare Program, the eligibility to participate in the Hillsborough County Healthcare Plan, you must be a Hillsborough County resident. You have to be a United States citizen or a documented legal resident, have income up to 138% of the federal poverty guidelines, have assets within established department guidelines, and not be eligible for any coverage through a state, federal, private, or employer insurance program. The Hillsborough County program now has an online client portal, so you can apply for Hillsborough County from home. You also have options where you can go to our contracted facilities, like through Tampa Family Health Center, Suncoast Health Centers, Tampa General Health Centers, and St. Joseph Health Centers. But most people commonly use the online portal, which is listed at ACES, which is aces.hillsboroughcounty.org. Again, that is aces.hillsboroughcounty.org. If you have additional questions, we have our member services that you can contact them for assistance at 272-5040. They will also be able to assist you if you're having difficulties with the portal or you're needing assistance with your application. Under the portal, you'll also be able to track your application status, and you will also be able to upload any documents for your eligibility determination. Again, if you need further assistance, you can contact myself at 272-5040 or our member services. Thank you.